Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. We have all been there, right? Staring at that blinking cursor, typing in a quick request, and getting back an AI response that honestly looks like it was written by an intern who hasn't slept in 3 days. Well, if you're a focused learner looking to actually get more out of generative AI without pulling your hair out, you are in exactly the right place today. We are going to completely transform how you interact with AI. We're moving far away from that endless cycle of trial, error, and sheer frustration. Instead, we're going to build a repeatable framework. Our goal here is absolutely crucial. We want to significantly reduce AI rework and give you a rock-solid method that produces reliable, high-quality work products every single time.
Okay, let's dive into this roadmap for today. We're going to uncover the search box trap, explore exactly why prompting is work design, break down the 6-part prompt pattern, watch a prompt evolve from weak to work ready, and finally, establish a reusable work habit.
Section 1, the search box trap, and why AI outputs so often fail us.
Let's start with a bit of a reality check. You type a quick request, hoping for a finished product, and what do you get? Something that forces you to basically rewrite the whole shebang anyway. You end up spending more time fixing the output than you would have spent just doing the work yourself. Now, notice the stark contrast between the two approaches we have here. On the left is AI as a search box. This is where most people start, right? You toss in a vague request, context is missing, the audience is totally unclear, and the format is a wild card. Ultimately, the human, that's you, has to clean up the mess. It's essentially throwing a dart in the dark. But look over on the right. This is AI as delegated work. Here, you're providing a clear assignment. You include relevant source material, you set explicit constraints, and you define exactly what the output should look like. The AI actually does the heavy lifting, and you simply review it against your criteria. The difference isn't just about writing style, it's about operational reliability. Treating AI like a search box leads to unpredictable garbage, for sure. Treating it as delegated work, that guarantees a reliable partner.
Moving right along to Section 2, prompting is work design. This is where we need a major mindset shift.
Absolutely love this quote because it completely changes the perspective. Prompting is not magic wording. It is a way to specify the work. So many of us fall into this trap of thinking there's some secret code, right? Like if we just find the perfect combination of adjectives, it'll magically unlock the ultimate AI response. We sit there tweaking words, hoping to hack the algorithm. But honestly, that's a total myth. AI responds to instructions, context, examples, and constraints. When you are prompting, you aren't doing magic. You are essentially defining a job.
Think about it like this. A great prompt is actually a small operating model. Imagine you are onboarding a brand new team member. They are incredibly fast, but they are completely literal and have absolutely zero common sense. You wouldn't just walk up to their desk and vaguely say, "Hey, write a report." No way. You'd give them an operating model. You'd define the job they're doing, who the audience is, what the boundaries are, the rules for quality, and how the work is going to be reviewed before they even start typing. Well, AI is exactly the same. When we build this small operating model, instead of just shouting a question into the void, we set the AI up for actual success.
Section 3, the 6-part prompt pattern, the blueprint, and this brilliantly illustrates the exact anatomy of a perfect prompt.
I want to slow the pacing down here for a second because this is the core engine of our framework today. There are 6 specific parts you need to combine into one reusable work instruction. Number 1 is role. Who should the AI act as? Number 2 is task. What exactly should it do? Number 3 is context. What background information or source material actually matters for this job? Number 4 is constraints. What are the hard boundaries? What must it include, avoid, preserve, or verify? Number 5 is output format. What should the final answer physically look like? And finally, number 6 is review criteria. How should the AI check its own work before it hands it back to you?
When we map this all out, you can really see how each component answers a critical work design question before the AI even generates a single word. By explicitly answering who to act as, what to do, what background is needed, what are the rules, what should it look like, and how to check it, you are completely eliminating the guesswork. When you combine all 6 of these answers into one single instruction, you stop writing those frustrating one-off requests, and you start building highly reliable, reusable work templates. It's a real game changer.
Section 4, from weak to work ready. Let's look at the evolution of a prompt in the real world.
Let's see how this blueprint works in practice. Here is a super basic prompt. Create a summary of these meeting notes. Be honest. How many times have you typed something exactly like this? It's short, it's quick, it's what we naturally type into a search box. But think back to our operating model for a second. What's missing here?
well, almost everything. It lacks context, it lacks boundaries, it doesn't specify an audience, and there's no format. The AI basically has to guess all of that, which means, you guessed it, you are inevitably going to be spending your afternoon editing the result.
Now look at this structured version. Notice the leap in text density right away. We've added the role act as a senior business analyst. We've added the task and format. Create a word-ready executive summary, use the section's purpose, key decisions, open risks, and so on. We've added context by referencing the notes below, and we've directly targeted the audience to nail the tone. Suddenly, the consistency of what you're going to get back from the AI skyrockets. But you know what? We can still make it safer.
Here is where the real magic happens. We take that structured prompt and we add constraints and review criteria. We explicitly tell it, do not invent missing facts. If a decision is implied but not explicit, mark it as needs confirmation. We give it self-checking rules. Before finalizing, check that every risk is connected to a decision, dependency, deadline, or unresolved question. So the crucial point is, by adding these explicit constraints, we practically eliminate hallucinations and unsupported assumptions. The AI is literally policing its own work before you even lay eyes on it. Looking at that evolution, it's so easy to assume that more words just equal better results. But remember this, the third prompt is not better because it is longer. It is better because it gives the AI a work model. The length is really just a byproduct of good work design. You aren't writing more just to be chatty, you're writing more because defining the job, the audience, the boundaries, and the quality rules simply takes a few extra sentences. The goal is the work model, not the word count.
Which brings us to our final section, Part 5, the reusable work habit. Let's talk about application.
To turn all this theory into a daily workflow, I want you to ask yourself two critical questions. First, what part of your own work is currently hard for AI because the context is always missing? Maybe it's writing weekly status reports, drafting customer follow-ups, or doing intake triage. And second, where do you normally find yourself correcting AI outputs after the fact? Think about it. Those corrections you're constantly making, those are your missing constraints and review criteria. If you always have to go in and fix the tone, that means you just need to define the role and audience up front.
To help you build this habit, here is a super practical checklist. Before you hit enter, just run through this quickly. Have you defined the role? Stated the task clearly, provided the background context, named your constraints, specified the final format, and set the review criteria. I highly recommend literally writing this checklist on a sticky note and slapping it right on your monitor for a week. Choose one recurring task you hate doing, build a prompt that checks all 6 of these boxes, and save it. Boom, that is your new reusable template.
I want to wrap up this explainer and leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. If you wouldn't assign work to a human without giving them clear instructions, context, boundaries, and review criteria, why on earth are you doing it with AI? The very moment you stop treating AI like a magic search box and start treating it like delegated work, your productivity and the reliability of your outputs will absolutely soar. Take your new 6-part blueprint, test it out on a recurring task this week, and just see the difference for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me, and happy prompting.